Hey, welcome to the Overseer Pamphlet. My name is Rob, and I'm the host of this one-man show. And should I say also, welcome back, because it's been 2 weeks now since I last posted an episode. And that's probably, most definitely because I was just away most of the time. And, it's a busy time for myself, just holidays coming up as well. It's just a lot, but I'm back. I'm back for an episode, and I want to discuss. I know Met Gala is done, but I think my more general topic today, as you can tell from the title of the episode, is just the evolution, I guess, of new movie stars, I guess, or like what makes a star nowadays valuable to a studio or something of the sorts, and I will be mainly focusing on the heated rivalry duo Connor Storrie and Hudson Williams, of course, because they are, I think, at the moment, the most prominent people, like the new, fresh faces that everyone is constantly talking about. Their hype hasn't really died down that much, which is very interesting to see. But yeah, I'll also briefly touch upon Timothée Chalamet, of course, and some other more recent, I guess, because newer stars, I guess. So yeah, let's get into it. So yeah, the Met Gala. First of all, my very quick thoughts about the Met Gala. I think this year was quite different in a way. Like, it was definitely the theme, at least, was much more interesting. And hot take, I think people could have done much more this year. I think people played it much safer this year for whatever reason, despite the theme being actually so good. Like, it was all about art specifically, and art is fashion and all of that. So many people, of course, took the right cue and started referencing paintings, and you could see that from many posts on social media about comparing the fit with an actual painting and all that stuff. Hunter Schafer definitely took the right note and dressed very much on theme. And then you had, of course, Emma Chamberlain, who undoubtedly won the Met Gala, which is very interesting as well, and also a great segue in what we will discuss today as well. But there are also a lot of people just really went very plain as usual. But I think there was no big explosive moment, no costume changes, big costume changes, Lady Gaga did 3 costume changes the previous years or whatever in one go. So there was definitely something missing, I would say. But you know what? That's so fine. I guess the vibe was more restrained for whatever reason, and I'm talking about also a lot of the gowns were very much understated, I would say. I would have expected a bit more a splash of color, more grandiose portrayals of art in a way as well. And I think just very few people actually really got the right vibe here. And I think apart from, as I said, Emma Chamberlain literally looked like she had a full painting on herself, with paint dripping off her dress. Anouk, I think, also was an incredible addition to this roster, because she literally showed out. It's she did her big one with this one, man. She literally looked like her whole thing was being a statue, basically. So good. The makeup that was done on her, incredible. The hair that was on her, I don't know, I'm not even sure if it was a wig or a headpiece or whatever it was, or a prosthetic or something, I don't know. And the funniest part is that she was covered in it's sort of a hood, I think, but pictures from behind the scenes or whatever showed many more details also in the back of her head with the hair and everything else. The intricacy of her costume was insane. So I think those two were definitely my favorites. Also really liked Chase Infinity's dress and take on it. I think it just was kind of giving you know, I don't want to say cubism necessarily, but like it was definitely very interesting, like very colorful, very splashy. It was really, really good. I would say also for someone who's rising to fame as we speak, she just did a very good job with the first Met Gala she's ever attended, basically. Yeah, her dress was incredible. I think like it just was basically like the body of a woman, but like in different colors. I'm not sure. Actually, it's not really cubism to be fair, but it was very, very cool. Like it looked like a piece of modern art on her. Like she was just really, really good. And I think also the hair complemented the dress. It was really stunning. Like even up close, the dress was just amazing. Amazing. Honestly, like I was just so impressed by her. Like it was just like sort of like a Venus sequin dress. Like it was just incredible. Yeah, so she definitely like went for the theme as well. She was another person who like, you know, definitely went for it, and I appreciate the commitment, I guess. Like, you know, was just really, really on theme. But I was saying like, you know, I think her dress was Michael Kors as well, by the way. Like it was just very, very cool. But apart from that, I think many other people just were not giving the vibe and that was supposed to be given, and I'm very sad about that. And you know what can we expect? I think many people, the more we go forward, the more we play it safe. And I have to be honest, we really felt, I personally did at least, felt the you know, the lack of Zendaya in action. You know, Zendaya usually brings it to 100 whenever she shows up, and like she has always something very interesting to see. So yeah, not seeing Zendaya, whatever, like, you know, she should skip, I think, some of these events every now and then just to make her comeback even stronger. But it was also funny to me that her absence, I guess, was sort of contrasted by her Vogue, I think it was Vogue Brazil cover shoot that she posted, I think, either that same evening or like the day after, the morning after. And of course the Vogue shoot was insane. Like she just looked incredible. All the fits that she had, all the makeup that oh my god, it was so good. So I was just like, oh, I wish Zendaya went to Met Gala, because we would have like another great person to talk about. Yeah, no movie star really captured the attention on this one. Like I would say, you know, out of all the movie stars, I don't think anyone did like a very great job. Even I'm gonna get there, like Connor Storrie and Hudson Williams. I like their fits, but I feel like, I don't know, like I didn't really get the artistic vibe. I know what they're going for, both of them, but I just feel like specifically Connor could have done something a bit like more interesting. Oh, I forgot to say, like, also I really liked Sabrina Carpenter's take on it. She had a dress made with film, the actual film like used for recording movies, basically old film, with I think it was a Audrey Hepburn movie called Sabrina. So smart, so cool, very artistic, so interesting. So yeah, I think apart from these few people that I mentioned, I don't think anyone else really was like, you know, showing out. Beyonce and Rihanna, of course, were there, entered at 2 different times, but they were like, you know, hanging out, I think, inside as well. And I have to be honest, I didn't really like care for either of their dresses. They were definitely not their best offerings, I guess, to the Met Gala. So not really my shit, but whatever. But I think the funniest part to me above all is that the people who made the most noise here were people who are not actually, you know, old Met Gala, you know, heavy hitters, I guess, let's just call it. Like, I think the probably one of the most talked about, or at least mentioned online, was Connor Storrie, of course, and Hudson Williams, I think, was not too far in that sense. Then the Blackpink girls were, of course, just making headlines, who all, by the way, looked very cutesy, very cool. But yeah, I feel like it was very funny, it's very interesting, and of course, yeah, Emma Chamberlain made also a lot of headlines for being, I think the major consensus is that she is the best, she was one of the best dressed. So it was funny to see, like, you know, there was mostly these new faces, I guess, in the fashion scene, but also in the celebrity scene, I guess, that made the headlines the most. And it does, give you a bit of a chance to see what's the next roster of famous people that's gonna, be dominating the culture for a bit. Now, with Emma Chamberlain, that's so cool for her. I think she's always been in the fashion game for a while, but I think this was definitely like a bit more like her crowning jewel in a way, because I think she's been having a lot of different styles, but I think this is like she's really honing now her own style, which is a very like interesting, almost androgynous look that she usually has now, like with a very bleached hair, no like bleached eyebrows, or I think no eyebrows at all, just very like cadaveric, I guess, like body that body makeup, like very pale, very like minimalist, but like very dark, and like dark in the eyes. Like she has, I think, like very strong eyeliner as well. It's just very interesting, like the way she's just really stepping into her fashion style these days is just so cool. So that's definitely very fun in the fashion department. But I think in the acting camp, as I was saying at the beginning, I'm still so surprised that both Connor and Hudson, I think it's getting to a point where like Connor, I guess, is like the really most like influential of the two. I mean, both of them are doing great things by themselves. Of course, they both have a lot of projects lined up now. But I think Connor is like being the one that is like really like welcomed into Hollywood as possibly a new big star. And I think part of the reason why this is like still, the hype is still not dying down in any ways, because one, both of them have been really strategic in how they have shown themselves in public. The SNL skits that Connor Storrie did definitely put him back into conversation. But I think also part of it is because like there's so much unknown. In like the unknown in this sense is like quite a lot, because like at the moment we haven't seen him in any other project. So we're all like glued to the screen to see what's gonna become of him in a way, because that was the breakout role, of course, in Heated Rivalry. But the big testament, I guess, to if this fame will be confirmed, let's just say, and like is gonna build a legacy or not, is gonna be his future projects, I guess, are gonna come out. Those are gonna be really like the big teller of if he deserves a place in Hollywood among the A-listers or not. So yeah, like I think that's why also the attention on him is quite high even to this days, because like everyone is like sort of looking at him and seeing what the next move might be, and what the next main situation, like what the next role he's gonna play in, I guess, he's gonna bring to the screen, if that's gonna be like his next is gonna prove that he deserves a success or not. And I assume, and I think in the same way also is the same thing with Hudson Williams. But I think, and I personally do agree to a certain extent in terms of acting between the two of them, Connor is definitely like the better actor. Not to say that Hudson is not. I do like his work as well, but I think Connor is just really the chameleon when it comes to acting. It's just very, very cool. So excited to see what comes next. So that's an interesting segue. But I think what I want to get at here is like also seeing the pattern here that we're looking at, is that new celebrities at least seem to be not necessarily fully dedicated to like the social media footprint in a sense, like influencer type of person, but it's like a bit of a in between that influencer and like the traditional movie star, or like at least famous person, like people who have come out of like traditional only movies in that sense, like, and all that, they are not as prominent as you think they would be. Like I'm talking about, I don't know, Elle Fanning, which I love Elle Fanning. I love her to bits, but she's not like I wouldn't count her as like a A-lister in that sense. And even like I don't know, people like even Chase Infinity herself, like she just literally just done one role and now she's like in a TV show, whatever. But I think because they're all playing a more traditional role in Hollywood, they're not surprisingly like, dominating as much as someone like Storrie is, or like someone like Hudson Williams are, because these two people, despite like, both being in the acting camp, they're also, don't get it twisted, very much a hybrid between that and an influencer. Like, everything about them is just marketable, and the mania that is just, constantly surrounding them in that sense is like so unusual and so unheard of in the last few years. Like, this really, as I was saying, like, it reminds me so much of the One Direction mania, or like the Beatle mania, or like how people were actually obsessed with anything that they do, like in terms of what they're wearing, in terms of like what they're, what music they're playing, and what videos they're in on social media, how viral they go on social media, and all that stuff, and all the clips and all the interviews and all of that. Like, it's a full ecosystem that is being built as we speak, and keeps on getting larger and larger. And it's, of course, like, even simple as, I don't know, the are more like tight, how do you call it? I think it's like the workout, like, the tight shirt, basically, that, it's in Hero Rivalry, became like a staple of like all the gays working out or whatever, or just simply his appearances anywhere he goes. Like the look like contest, there's so many people who are trying to like emulate his hairstyles, his like his like his ways of dressing and all that stuff. Like, for both of them, even Hudson Williams as well, like, it's just insane. And of course, both of them are, quite viral on social media every single time they post something interesting. Like, it's just really out there. And part of it, most of it is all, of course, done by the people, like the people on social media. They choose these moments and they make them viral, of course. But I think also the other part of it is that they are in this weird limbo, right? Because they're not like, considered at the moment like the most serious of actors. Like, they're not like, royalty, Hollywood royalty in that sense. They don't have all of this, repertoire that they're able to show at the moment. And but at the same time, they also are both like native on the internet in that sense. They both have like their own lingo and old videos of themselves, like, on social media from when they were kids and all that stuff, like, for them being like extremely fluent in the internet language, I guess, let's just say. So that's incredible. Very, 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 very cool. So I'm extremely, extremely excited about that. Just even trying to understand how this works is just quite interesting. And I think also they, bring a new life into Hollywood in a way, like, to best believe whatever next project is going to come out of theirs, people are going to show up, or at least the very loyal fans that they have gathered in these past few months. They're definitely going to show up. Like, just look at their Instagram follower accounts. They just keep on bloating and bloating and bloating and bloating. Like, it's just a continuous growth, which is very, very interesting. Like, you could say like Timothée Chalamet, for example, who is definitely on the more traditional Hollywood camp. Like, he did a lot of indie movies and like built his way up like that, and then became like, a blockbuster actor in that sense. He is instead now being rejected by it because I think he's trying instead too hard to like be influencer friendly or social media friendly, but just by appealing to the wrong crowd, I think, as well. That's a problem that I already spoke about in previous episodes. So, and you can see how like he's being now rejected by people and even by the industry itself, because he's just, like turning his back on what made him famous in the first place, and like what really people were making him famous for. So I think you can see also here like another interesting segue in a way, is that like, both of, like, if you embrace, I guess, let's just say, what the people are like making you famous on social media and everything else, like on all these platforms. If you embrace that and you like, feed into that and play to your advantage, you will gain a lot of traction. But as soon as you try and like, snap back from and like, go literally like the opposite way, you could easily lose all of that, all the fame and the traction you've gained. And fame is fleeting in that sense. Like, you can be famous, like super famous one day, and then you'll be just forgotten in 2 seconds. But it's interesting to see, like, that these people are like definitely, they definitely have like a large, like massive social media footprint. They're also at the same time occupying the space of people who are instead like considered more like serious celebrities in that sense. It's just very interesting to see how these spaces are like colliding and mixing it and mixing up. So yeah, I feel like there's a lot to be like learned from that, and I think I've been noticing a lot of these things from these like also events that are thrown together. So the Met Gala was definitely an interesting spot to see how things have developed, and at the same time, like it was funny to see like people could have been on the verge of that, like the two main stars from Love Story by Ryan Murphy, Tar Pigeon, and I forget the name of the other guy, but they instead were like so flat in this Met Gala, and they just didn't really gain any traction, because I think also at the same time they don't have the same cachet that Hudson Williams and Connor Storrie have in terms of native, like internet language and like their social media footprint and all that stuff. Like they're not, and the way also they have acted and have been shown how to act and all that stuff in public. I mean, not in TV shows. Is definitely more like akin to like normal Hollywood actors in that sense, and you can see that they're like spot in the industry is not as strong as these two other people. So it's just so interesting to see. I just food for thought. But definitely let me know who you think was the best dressed at the at the Met Gala. I mean, if you didn't like any of them, I completely understand. But yeah, and just let me know what you think about this interesting new version of like a Hollywood style, how it could look like and all that, and if you agree with me or not, because you could also disagree with me and think that they're not actually deserving of any of this success and they're gonna be forgotten very soon. I mean, if you saw even the after parties and all that stuff, so many celebrities, so many singers, so many actors, anyone who's like around in these events, they wanted to be photographed with either of them or both of them if they could. They're just bringing so much social, worth in that sense. Like, what is it? Like a cloud in a way. Like, that's what we could call it. So, yeah. Feel free to argue in the comments. Don't kill me. Word to the sponsor, and then I'll give you a couple of songs of the week, as usual. See you in a bit. Right, I feel like we cannot like get on with the songs of the week without talking about something that I have been gatekeeping for a bit, but not really. I need to share now, because I think you guys would probably find it as usual as I have, and this is like a game changer in terms of my routine. Like, I've been trying to be a bit more consistent with actually getting nutrients in my diet, especially because of like now working out a bit, constantly, basically every single week, every single day. And apart from that, of course, work, socializing, all the different things, getting super busy, it gets very difficult to keep up with that. And I found something really, really interesting called Zivolife. It's basically like super nutrient-dense microalgae powder packed with protein, fiber, antioxidants, and all the good stuff, and vitamins, of course. You just add a teaspoon into water or smoothie or anything. You can even make it warm if you want, and you're done. Like, that easy. I like it because it's like, again, an easy way to get something very good into your body, and also in a way super easy to integrate into your routine without having to feel like you're overcomplicating it or like you have to prepare so many things. If you want to try, just go to zivo.life and use my code oversharepamphlet for 30% off, which is the biggest discount they offer anywhere. And just to be transparent, of course, I do earn a small commission if you use my code, so you're also supporting the podcast while also getting something good into your life. All right, back to the episode. We have so much to talk about in terms of songs of the week because I just noticed that I couldn't even start a playlist for the month of May. So this is gonna be a quick, round of songs of the week for the month of May. And you can find, of course, a playlist on Spotify under the name of the Overshare Pamphlets of the Week, May 2026, because that's the year and a month we're in at the moment. So I have been on, this specific space that is like I think you could call it a mixture between hyperpop and like actual rave music, and it's all because of Tiffany Day, of course. And I've managed to see her live actually this past Friday, which was incredible. And I think I've talked to No Jam about that, but Halo is one of my favorite albums of the year. So many good songs on that, but that got me into many more songs that I've been really, really enjoying. And on the same wavelength and the same vibe of Halo, in a way, the album, I want to talk about Walk by ILYKimchi. I love you, Kimchi, basically. Not sure who they are. The song, though, definitely in that space. Like that's the space that you're. If you've never heard of any Tiffany Day song or like anything like that, if you know like anything about that, it's just like very ravey, fast-paced music that's really really fun. But this is in that genre. Very very cool. Then I want to talk about Holly Humberstone. White Noise is from her newest album that she just dropped like this past few months, I think. Cruel World. White Noise is one of my favorite songs she's ever put out, 100%. The song, like, sonically reminds me a bit of Save Your Tears for whatever reason. I think it's the same chord progression, maybe that's what it is. But it's such a good song. Songwriting is also very very good. It's about basically being infatuated with one person and not being able to like listen what other people warn you about, in a way, like everything that other people say is just white noise to you. But at the same time, it's also a very sad song because at the same time she knows that she won't see this person ever again. Like, it's just not happy ending, let's just say. But despite all of this, and despite all the warnings and all the warning signs that she also herself knowing this is not gonna go well, she's still very much in love and dedicated to this person. And so everything that comes her way becomes white noise. Every warning becomes white noise, basically. Very cool. Very catchy. Go listen to it. It's also pretty good because it's a sad bop, basically. So if you like that, that's probably going to be your vibe. Very, very good. Then I have, of course, I have Tomb by BABYMONSTER. This song is so interesting. I wasn't entirely sure how if I liked it at first or not, but I think it's really growing on me at the moment. Very dancey, very danceable in a way. There's a lot of like mambathon and like Brazilian funk elements into this. Very cool, so catchy. Let's choom, let's dance, man. It's so catchy. Really 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 like it. Very energetic. It reminds me a bit of Drip. If you'd like Drip by BABYMONSTER as well, it's sort of in the same vibe. Very good. And then I gotta be honest, gotta start talking about him. Everyone is talking about him, so I have to talk about him. Malcolm Todd, who is, by the way, Audrey Hobart's brother. What? I didn't know about that until recently. Crazy. Anyways, he has 2 singles out from his upcoming album. He's got like just really going viral at the moment. But his song "Breathe" from his upcoming album is incredible. I think he sort of reminds me a bit of I guess, I don't know. He definitely has like that indie boy type of like production and everything else. He reminds me of someone specifically. Let me see if I can remind myself who it is. Probably Dominic Fike. Yeah, probably Dominic Fike. That's what it really reminds me of. I mean, the song is very sexy, to be fair. Like, he wants to have, this specific person he's talking about breathe into him, basically. So very cool. But that's a very good song. Like, it's also a very interesting contrast between like how the verses sound and the choruses sound. The verses are very like hairy and like whispery and all that, while the choruses are like very energetic and like open and yearning, I guess, in a way. In the way he sings, and it's so cool. Such a cool song. Very, very good. Loves it, babes. Loves it. Then I gotta talk about my girl. My girl's Wet Leg. I love Davina McCall. Like, I know Moisturizer has been out for a while, but I've just been, getting back into that album. And I mean, again, if you know anything about Mange 2, like, Wet Leg, indie band, that's, indie girl band specifically, a bit rockish, a bit sad indie band, really good. Listen to Davina McCall and you'll love it. You shall love it. And then I cannot move on, might not finish this at least, without talking about Naomi Scott. Like, I'm sorry, I've been so shocked by this album. Fig, I don't know. This is the same girl who was in Lemonade Mouth. Bridge Medler is Naomi Scott. But she was in Lemonade Mouth. She sang She's So Gone. And then she was also, of course, in Smile 2. Like, Aladdin. She was in that movie as well. And she came out with this album that is so good. I actually urge you to listen to this entire thing. If you like specifically like 80s R&B, you gotta listen to this. But the one that I really like the most is Cherry. That song is incredible. Like, it's just is she's such a tasteful selection of songs in this album. It's just ridiculous. Like, it's just insane, and it's not like anything she's ever done before. Like, it's so R&B, and it's so unique and fresh, and it's just so good. Cherry is just incredible. Cherry has a bit of, more than being simply 80s R&B, Cherry is more also a bit disco-y, I guess. So good. So good. I'm so, literally shocked. I was like, this can't be, like, how is this happening? How is this? I did not know about this. And this album has been out for a bit now, but I didn't really pay attention to it. And now I'm, like, regretting it because this is so good. Oh my god. Please go listen to this. Anyways, these are the songs of the week. 6 songs, because I'm trying to, catch up on stuff that I've been listening to for you guys, but give it a go. Go listen to them and go, comment on the episode, whatever, if you have any, opinions on these songs, if you like them or not, and go check out the playlist. And I'll see you in the next episode, which will come out next week. Don't worry about that. I'll try to be as consistent as I can, even though I'm traveling again very soon. But he shall be fine. He shall be fine. We shall make it work. Bye.